I hear the American music. That's funny because it's not even American. All right, what's up, y'all? Let's get into it. How we doing? How we doing? All right, let's see. Can you guys see my screen now? Should be a yes, right? Sweet. All right, so I'm gonna work my way into the first setup that I had. Sadly, it was like 3 a.m. or something where it triggered. 1, 2, 3 a.m. over here. I was looking for shorts, and NQ. I talked about this zone. It was maybe Wednesday. Let's see, Wednesday over here. Yeah, Wednesday we had a nice little sweep of liquidity, and then we had one more push to the upside before it liquidated tons of retail buyers. So, and then it pushed lower. So I did like a sell in this zone. This already happened, so cool. That's all good. Didn't trade it, but it's counter trend. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's counter trend on the. I didn't sell. No, I was asleep. But yeah, I mean, we were going with momentum. I mean, the market's been bullish for the last 2 weeks or so. And then at this point, we were just kind of correcting, rebalanced, instantly just came back in. So could this be considered the beginning of a distribution? Yeah, very, very much so. Is it bullish overall? Yeah, I mean, it's been moving up, Sometimes I think sometimes we gotta think about this not just only in candlesticks, but like, all right, what has it been doing? Like it's been going up more than it's been going down. The market, even with the pullbacks, had been struggling. So is the structure technically bullish across multiple time frames? Yeah. The daily time frame here was bearish for some time, and then obviously when it dropped down and came back up this fast, here's like the daily time frame. This shows you that the intent of this drop was not for continued bearish structure. This was switching sides, if you will. However, I mean, buy until the sign isn't there anymore. Everyone, what your thought process isn't uncommon at all. Everyone thinks it's going to be exhausted, but like, unless there's proof, just keep riding the wave. It's a party wave, and we all should be on it. But all right, it's New York Open, so let's dive into it. We have NQ that took out Tokyo lows just now after getting below London lows. So we're in the process of sweeping some liquidity here for sure, as the market worked its way higher, right? So we have a couple good zones here to keep in mind. So we've been pushing lower and lower. This move here, this is a very interesting, and I'm going to try to move quickly so we have something here. But if you feel like there's a setup happening in real time, then let me know in the chat. And also, what's up, Amari, Jeff, Carlos, Brandon, Nick, Brandon, DeAndre, Corey, what's up, y'all? Tom, Seth, Tanduri, John, Patrick, Kevin, what's up, y'all? Juan, Janko, what's good, my boy? Getty, Joe, Patrick. Okay, cool. Kike, hi. All right, so here we had some liquidity sweeps here. So we get some aggressive movement. Nice push right here. Right? So this is the beginning of quite the drop. And you can kind of notice the liquidation. This happens Friday, post New York session. So market just kind of keeps rejecting. drops aggressively, pumps up again, drops again, pumps up one last time, and then it really starts to make its move to the downside. So you can pinpoint this to whatever you want, but I'd say we're getting the market to drop down starting from right around 29,685. All right. So cool. This could be a zone of interest later on. And then now let's move on to where we're at. So price here drops back into this before taking out structure, comes up, down, comes up, drops down. So we kind of respect this level pretty well, pretty consistently here. I wouldn't say we've mitigated here. I don't think we broke structure. I think this is actually just building on and creating more and more support. So can we work our way down to here at some point? I think that's the case. Then you have liquidity building up here, and you get one more drop before the continuation. Okay, so could there be some sort of a buy setup here as well? Yeah. But what's happening with Dow? So before I even start looking at any sort of sells over here, I do want to just have the landscape here for buys. And so as I do that, you guys can see we had quite the commotion here with Dow Jones. Once it finally got below Tokyo lows, swept this and absolutely just ripped. This thing went crazy. So just takes out some of these previous highs, the 1 minute time frame that it had been making, clears that, and then instantly starts to drop. Your mic volume is a bit high, and the psst and smack noises are on an ASMR level. I appreciate the thought. Let's see, where do I want to drop this down? We can drop it down a little bit. All right, let's see here. Let's drop this down a little. All right, cool. Thanks, man. All right, so anyways, these highs right here have been cleared. Have we had higher time frame liquidity capture? I'd say where we have more narrative. I would to look for a sell today with Dow. I don't really care for like shakeout setups where it only takes out like internal liquidity. I like the shakeout setups where we've cleared, I'd say, just higher pockets of liquidity, like above highs of the day or of the session. That typically carries more weight for me. So for sells, I think I'd want to see the market get above London high, New York high. This makes more sense. And all right, looking at where we're at with NQ, so buying NQ also has a downside because, well, it's more bearish than Dow and completely. All right. Now, if we're going to put all the chess pieces together here, reversals overall, it looks like S&P still hasn't cleared Tokyo lows here. So the lows of that session, that's easily a possibility for the market. You have one last push down here with S&P as well. So let's say we work our way over to here. Here you see a lot of support, a lot of liquidity, and then one last move to the downside before the continuation. So I do think the market has motive to at least get to this level before any reversals. Not that I would buy there. I'm just being aware of where key areas of liquidity exist for the market right now. That's the main thing that I'm just thinking about. But just like that, look at this. NQ mitigating this drop really well. So like usual, you're not look at will this work or can this work? It's is this potential? You're looking at high of the day, low of the day, London Open, because those are for you the most probable zones. Yes, yes, yes. It's so okay. Here's a way that maybe from for everybody, when you're looking at setups, first like as you progress as a trader, you start to realize that there are high probability opportunities in the market based off of shapes, based off of patterns. That's how you originally start to understand the market, and that's how you can trade. Just overall, you can trade like that. That's not really a problem. Over the years, and especially as you start to, I would say, contextualize smart money, understand narratives with smart money. What starts to change, my camera isn't on, is it? What starts to change is that you start to realize, okay, it's not just about is my pattern here, but how does it make sense across the board, like the game as a whole. Multiple pieces need to be in place in order for like the market to more than likely flow in your direction. And so the first step is, could this setup work? And then the second step, in my eyes, is what would make this pattern not work? Could something also influence this from not working out? So that's how I think about this. It's not just like, okay, cool, here's a pattern, but it's like, okay, well, I also understand that the markets at different asset classes, they work together. Like it's like all three need to be in position for the entire market to move more often than not. So can I read that? Am I considering that? So for today, for right now, the market overall, whether it's NQ or it's Dow, they're all relatively bearish, despite things starting off kind of spiking up for Dow and for S&P. Things have been overall dropping. So now the question is, and here's where you can start to put things side by side. What has more or less momentum, right? Whether it's the big picture or the small time frames. And this is what's going to be really important is, do I see the big picture? Or am I just thinking about am I just too zoomed in? And then something that's really liberating is just, well, if it's not like very clear here, then do I even need to do anything? Like, is my money worth putting at risk? Like, I could have an opportunity right now, but do I need to have an opportunity right now? Like right now, does right now have to be the moment? You guys tell me. Okay, so overall, if we're looking at structure, here is where we saw Wednesday's pump up, took out the highs, so did NQ and Dow. NQ then, after rebalancing and mitigating this level, which Dow has not approached yet. Remember, this is our entry that we had, which was playing off of a higher time frame. Like, this was an enticement move. Money comes in one last time before it liquidates just absolutely everybody. Okay. Market comes back to that. As soon as it hits that, price action flips and Q becomes more bullish. Great. And then Dow hasn't really gotten to these levels quite yet until, actually, no, it did, but it did it way later. Right? It ended up doing this instead of happening on Thursday. This ends up happening during Asian session. And then we've seen NQ continue to make higher highs, while Dow has been just squeezing and holding this level. Now, higher time frame, guys, we can see Dow is just holding. It's doing a really good job here. Like, it's not pushing lower. It wants to hold its ground, and it's been squeezing. So this is where it gets more and more likely that, okay, well, can we get buy positions here? Are buy positions going to happen? So NQ going lower. Here's the 5-minute, currently pushing even lower. Dow is not. So for me, I would have preferred to have just really strong higher highs, the market sustained something like this, and then I would have been buying. Since I didn't have that, right? Because you see great sweep of liquidity, market takes that out, comes back up. So we're really showing brief signs that the market wants to be bullish with Dow, but it's just that. It's just brief. It doesn't sustain quite yet for my entry model. So despite having like, oh man, you know what, this might go up, it's just not. Like there are false flags for me. But if I was going to choose between both of these, seeing how price actions rolled out today, as of right now, there's more signs that Dow is bullish, right? After clearing this low, this only goes higher, whereas NQ is still kind of fighting to hold its ground, to get there. And with all that being said, because we have liquidity here, like we definitely have some buys here. Could this be enough of a trend line liquidity break to push higher? Maybe. Is there motive for this to get down to here? There is. So cool. Market isn't clear. Sick. I don't have to trade anything here. It leaves without me and it rips and makes all-time highs. Cool. That's how detachment will pay you long term. And, and could there be a better setup somewhere else? Yeah. Speaking of which, the gold buys were nice yesterday. Didn't trigger me in. I had my entry a little lower. Unfortunate. But, yeah, sweep of liquidity, continuation. So mitigation here was a great success. Now, gold struggling to push higher. So silver, better signs for movement right now. Silver, so gold got above briefly and then just couldn't hold the fort, dropped back in. Silver breaks above these highs and maintains above these highs for 4 hours. So we have this big push to the downside right there. Then we see silver start to make some image retracement. Did this mitigate already over here? So the big sweep down. Did this already do its thing? What do we think? Gets to here. Pulls back. Plays into this zone. Yeah, I think this already had the exchange of money. I think it's already high. We already went down. So all right, I don't gotta do much here. Then just recently, we had some liquidity here, some support, one big push down, market comes up and comes right back down. So is this valid enough for me to buy? Not for me, guys, not for me. So yeah, I'm gonna chill. Yeah, not too convinced on anything here. So gonna let metals kind of just cruise. It can do its thing without me. I'm cool with that. Silver, maybe I get some sells over here. We had higher highs, breaks below. Structure looks good here. So you can kind of see it there. It looks a little bit more clean. Lower lows when we break this. So this looks nice. We stay below here for Friday, Sunday Asian session. And then, yeah, so I think we can still have a setup over here. When? I don't know. And then that leaves us with oil. Oil getting close. Hey, buddy. What's up? Finally, the buys that we had here, they had two setups. Didn't survive my trade management, my stop loss management, but looks like it's coming together over here. The short is near, and I like a reversal out of here. Yeah. We filled some of this gap. So depending on how this goes, I don't need this to go, and I don't really need to trade this into London low, Tokyo lows here. I can be a bit more conservative with this setup. So I'm very open to holding this to just like a 2 hour or something. I'm going to leave a limit here already in place. So I'll have 5 micros on oil. And then the setup is pretty textbook mitigation. Sweeps into the gap. Structure stays very well below here for quite some time. Days worth. Because there's a higher setup over here, I'm a bit more conservative with my exit. And that's it. Yeah. So this one we've been going over for like a week or so. And then we'll see how it responds. Okay. Going back over here into indices to review. Have we seen a good reversal with NQ here? I would say so. I would say we've seen it's done its thing. It has rejected this little push down here. Made its little move. Okay, nice. We have Dow that has switched teams here. So that internal liquidity sweep shakeout did in fact work out pretty nicely here. So not my setup, not good enough for me. But we did see it, right? Pump, take the high, immediately drop back in. It moved sideways for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. It's not really my trade. It's a little too, it would have been just kind of getting too ahead of it too quickly. So yeah, all good on that. NQ looks good to sell in your opinion? Do your thing, man. Do your thing. I'm chilling on that for sure. Yeah, I'm good on that. What I'm open to, because now it looks like we're seeing at least the flip in structure with NQ being very bullish. I'm open to buys with NQ if we get higher highs. So if we end up trading higher, maintaining structure, could look for some buys in here. We had a light sweep of liquidity with this last push down at, what was that, 8:39? So 9 minutes after the open. One last push to the downside before we get the rally here. So if this becomes more sustainable above the previous high, then I'm open to this. If not, then cool. So then we wait. My friends. Especially because this is a sweep of liquidity here. So this is a liquidity break. So that looks good. Yeah, I'm just going to wait and see. Hopefully, when I say hopefully we get that, that's just so we have an opportunity. And it's worth our time being here. That's not always going to be the case. That is the life of a trader. You waste your time quite often. Yeah, being a trader is sick, dude. Just sit in front for candles for a little bit, you make some money. When in reality, you sit in front of it for hours and nothing happens, and then you feel like you wasted your time. But that's the important distinction between wages and earnings. Like, you're not compensated for your time. You're compensated for your skill. So if you can't keep putting so much emphasis on how much time you've put into this, if you're just not getting better. I've given trading so much of my life and I'm still not making money. Well, yeah, because you're still measuring yourself in I put in all this time, but that doesn't really matter. Market doesn't care that you stare at this shit all day. All right, oil in territory. Hello. Okay, so the areas of interest here, there's really two. A little bit of resistance right there. And then you have these key reversal areas, which are around 81, my bad, 81.30s, 81.45. So I picked my spot right here. That may or may not be the right choice. And, you know, you got to live with it either way. So we shall see, my friends. We shall see. Now, if oil's going to start dropping and reversing out of there, we might be getting into reversal territory, among other things. So, for example, what alerts this one off? NQ. Oh, NQ's going down again. Okay, so, yeah, like, would I still buy in here? Nah, dog. Nah. That's just not gonna happen right now. Pretty weak. It takes the low. It takes the liquidity. Yeah, this does happen. Comes up and then right back down. So, yeah, no dice for me. Would have been tight. It's an interesting one today because we have consistent back and forth between Dow and NQ. There's really no, like, now NQ is going down and then Dow is going up. So these are typically, these kind of market conditions, this is how you can accumulate some L's. You can accumulate losses here because this is not easy market conditions. Being able to just kind of label it like, all right, is this a typical trading environment where everything works out really smoothly? No. Not for me. I look at this and I go, this is a disaster. And Q is a little bit more bearish. No, Dow is a little bit more bearish. Wait, no, and Q is a bit more bullish. Wait, no, YM is a bit more bullish. Yeah, no, that sucks. No one wants to trade that. But the problem is, you know, it's like when you know you're in a toxic relationship, but there's moments where it's good, you know? That's really what's happening here. It's like you like the idea of the relationship, but it's just toxic. And I'm in, like, hey. Like, you might be having a good time physically, but emotionally and spiritually, you are absolutely drained. And you don't want that in your life. Not worth it for sure. And if you think it's worth it, it's because you're a boy. I'm just saying. Women, hey, same thing goes to y'all. Just make it relative to you. So maturity is realizing, you know, am I in it here for the short term, or, you know, am I actually thinking about my future? And as a trader, guys, you gotta be able to survive here. You know, we had on our syndicate call the other day. We were talking about, I forgot what I was saying. It was like, oh, okay, cool. It was like, you can be gratified short term, but So you can feel good short term, but then long term, you're going to be disappointed. Or you can be okay being disappointed in the short term, in the present, but long term, you can live with that decision. You feel actually good about that decision. Whereas if in the short term, in the present, you can be feeling good, but you're just going to be disappointed afterwards, and then you have to you stay disappointed. So it's like which feeling, which state do you want to keep? Because only one of them, you always keep one. One of them is fleeting, and the other one you have to sit with for a lot longer, and it's actually the representation of you. So short-term good, but then you just have to sit with your own disappointment, and that lasts a lot longer. Or short-term doesn't feel great, but you go to sleep and you're like, I'm not a piece of shit. So apply that in whatever elements of your life as you will. I love my Indian wife. That's awesome, bro. I'm happy for you. I love my Mexican wife. All right. Where's oil doing? Slowly. We're about 45 points. It is 9 a.m. here. Yeah. It's about to snap a one wish willow. Yo, careful there. Is that why trading has gotten better? Yo, studies show, the moment you break up with your toxic partner, your trading does improve. Thank you, sir. You either spiral negatively or you become an absolute Chad. And sometimes both. Sometimes one and then the other. But you can skip the first part. That is completely up to you. Thank you, Mondo. Oh, that's so cute. Mondo just made me a coffee. And he put it in this mug that says, love ya, mean it. I love you too, buddy. I love you too, man. Nick has become a Chad. He's now Nicholas Chad Drevis. All right, we're getting closer, guys. 35 points. What I'm curious about, I hope my tangents here have not been super distracting, but I'm wondering if okay, so NQ seems like it did its liquidity sweep. First, the trend line. I still think there's a possibility we get down here. Sadly, didn't have the confirmations to get a buy out of this bounce, but now we have this. So that's over. Okay, so a little bounce there, little bounce there. Does Dow have motive to go lower? Not really either. Dow already took out Tokyo lows. Maybe New York lows. Yeah, I mean, you got this. So, yeah, indices right now for me are a little bit... That's how I feel. Just... I know this, for example, this spike down with Dow. This is an enticing one, huh? It's like, ooh, look at this little... Some money comes in here, pushes the market down. Okay. Looks tasty. Not yet. Not for me. I'm not convinced. You gotta, you're gonna have to sweeten the deal for me. And that's another point, another perspective for me when I'm trading is, is the market has to convince me, not the other way around. I'm not here to rationalize the setup. I'm not here to convince myself to risk money in the market. No. The market has to prove itself to me. You want my money? You want my money? You know what? Give me a good deal, you know? Give me an offer I can't refuse. That's it. Like, all right, you know, I have the money. So what's the offer? You know, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and this is how you treat me? This is foul. I don't want this. I don't want none of this. All right, so I'm gonna let Indices figure this shit out. Let's go look at a couple other things. Let's zoom out. Let's go majors. Dude, that yen play was sick. Clean move. Shakeout out of the order block here. I didn't end up taking this sell. I just didn't dig it. Yeah, but the buy was beautiful. Chef's kiss. From there, the pound. Oh. Hello, good sir. Interesting. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Not bad. A little sweepage. Takes out a lot of these buyers. Lures in the sellers, and then hello darkness, my old friend. Clears these guys out. All right, yeah. This could be good. It definitely has not dropped the same way that every other major has. So it's sustaining good price action. Good price action. 5% risk on that? Nah. It's not that good. It's not that good. We had... So, Australian has a setup here that doesn't look too bad. Nice little sweep before a rally as well. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep the radar. I'll keep this on my mind over here. This is a decent move. Sweep. One last push down right there. Just the final, like, oh, it's going, and then goodbye. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there, guy. All right. Done. Keep me in the loop with this one, Brandon. All right. Bitcoin here. Took out the highs. Took out the low, the structure, and then came right back up. Possible Bitcoin shakeout. All right. Dow still having an identity crisis. Dow into this imbalance. Possibly can reverse out of here. It is very possible. Very enticing. But, you know, the devil on your shoulder here might be whispering sweet nothings to you, but is it really worth it? It's not for me. And then oil. What are you doing? A little drop. Okay. What are stocks doing today? Dude, what a absolute bump from SpaceX. Damn. All right, Adobe 267. Sick. Some of the market is definitely bleeding today. Spotify up 5% of the day. Beautiful. Duolingo ate up that drop. Ate that shit up completely. Nintendo another 3% today. Come on, boy. Yo, gaming stocks have been so good to me. Nintendo crushing it. Unity crushing it. I love it here. I love it here. All right. Uber with the shakeout, and it really shook. Sweep, demand, right into the last point right here. Dude, these options, I get it. I get it. CrowdStrike, I think I read that CrowdStrike is now making browsers specifically designed for AI agents. That is probably why it's seeing another 5% jump today. What a man! Wow, this was something else. I was looking at this earlier in the year. I don't know why I didn't press the button, but well, it is what it is. Guys, Airbnb has officially hit exit 2 at $180. Entry was at around $116. So I am taking profit on some profit on this for at 55%. Here we go. And then we have all-time highs sitting at 220. All right, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna leave the stocks breakdown here before I start to bore some of you. If anyone has one they want me to look at, let me know. Mike, could you check school and let me know which zone you'd wait for a break? You already showed it, I believe, but could you elaborate why that lower zone? Sure. I mean, this is fantastic. Like this one is great. The exit gets much better if you get this type of break above. Like, okay, it breaks these highs, you get the pullback. You can definitely let that rip a lot further. If you just are, let's say this 1 minute setup here. Well, I don't know if I'd really trade this anymore. We saw the sweep came up. You get one more push down. This looks efficient, mitigated. Yeah, I don't know if I would really pursue this again. The 1 minute, 15. What is the difference? I mean, okay, so, That's just is it okay? That's an interesting way to look at it. It's a clear candle that mitigated on the 15. I mean, it's the same price though. Like this goes down, clears this, right? We're looking at the same thing. So this clears liquidity, works its way up. The 15-minute is built from all of these candles. So you're saying this here's where money comes in, liquidates, lures in one more time, last low. That is interesting. I don't know how I would. I'm not actually sure. Because we hadn't broken above yet, so we hadn't necessarily closed out that pocket of money. We had this just push down these lows, but we still have the. Okay, I see what you're saying. This is in this particular example. Yeah, I get it. Because from here, money starts to clear the lows, and then only now are we getting a difference, right? Market's starting to shift direction. So the market, let's say, trading back into like here or something, 29,780. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. What makes this weird is just like it doesn't just take the low and then we kind of sit here and make it. We rebalance, then we come back down again, and then now we're finally seeing a switch. So I am curious if this has already kind of seen an exchange of money or not. But with more and more demand, like if price keeps staying bullish, if we stay here for longer, maybe if we even go further. Okay, I can see it. I wonder if we're not going to get our oil buys or sells if this is already going to do its thing. Okay, so oil is moving a lot more similar, like correlation-wise. You guys know how oil kind of goes up, indices go down. Oil is moving a lot more closely to Dow, but in the opposite direction. So take a look at this. So here's Dow Jones. And then here is oil. So oil goes up, comes down a little bit. So look at how it does it here too. So right, oil shoots up or shoots down. Oil shoots up, and then starts to work its way down, reversing, and then now oil is going higher. So is Dow like gonna also keep making lower lows? Let's see. And Q making a move now. Nice. S&P making its move. And then oil still undecided. All right. Well, y'all, that's it. That's it from me. Really, the only setup that I see myself taking at the moment with that's already prepared. That's just like it's just there. It's oil. Indices maybe have something later. We'll just see how they end up breaking above or below what ends up setting up. That requires a little bit more time. So, yeah, I just got to give it the time. That's it. So, that's how I'm going to play it. Give it oil, let oil do its thing. And then not be too attached to indices. Oh, it's moving without me. Oh no, I could have done this, I could have done that. Well, if you could have, you would have, and you didn't. So, if there really wasn't an opportunity for you anyways, if it was a good enough setup, you probably would have been in. And, you're not. So, that's all good. All right, guys. Much love. It's been a good one. It's been real. See you all tomorrow. Remember, this week, you do have CPI, PPI, and such. So, also Australian interest rates tonight. So, if you have a setup on Australia, which I like a setup somewhere down below, check it out. Wednesday, CPI looks good. Thursday, PPI looks good. And then some medium retail news. This one sometimes doesn't really do much. But if you are going to be trading there's how some accounts have rules around high impact news trading. So be aware of those. But expect some volatility. Expect the market to set things up really nicely. And yeah, be on the lookout, guys. I'll be dropping a newsletter here in a little bit. You'll get some videos from me this week and so on. So take care, fam. Later.